Why is it every time there's a tragedy that happens in this country, the inanimate object is to blame? I have firearms. They've never once hurt anybody. We as a society blame something. We have to be able to blame something else and not the root of the problem. If you're obese, you don't blame all the food that you eat. I have this condition, or I have anxiety, or whatever, and you take a pill for your problem. We take pills for our problems in America instead of getting to the root cause, figuring out what is making people act the way they are. The tragedy that happened yesterday in Georgia was that. It was because the root of a problem was not taken care of. These shootings are happening because the problems aren't being addressed. They're being covered up. They're being blanketed. They're being excuses made for these people. They're every single time this happens. Another gun ban. Blame the gun. Don't blame the person. Don't blame society. Blame a gun. 4 people died yesterday. I was reading an article yesterday that on gun violence, actually, it was saying that gun violence is the leading cause of death to children in America. And it is definitely not. Not even close. It's tragic. It's sad that children die. It's sad that anybody dies of gun violence. But look at all the gangs in blue states that have, you're not even allowed to own a firearm up there. It doesn't stop bad things happening. When bad people want to do bad stuff, they're going to do it. Obviously, murder is illegal. You don't see that stopping bad people to do bad things. We need to come together as a society and help teach children. We need to teach the kids on how to be, how to deal with their emotions, how to deal with life. The video games that they play right now, that the violence in them, it's just a video game, it doesn't cause violence. That's BS, man. If you're around something long enough, if you watch something long enough, you're going to tend to want to do that thing. There was the guy that played Freddy in the horror movies. He did an interview one day and he was talking, this is a long time ago, but he was talking about those movies that he did. He would feel like that character. And he would get those thoughts in his head just on a normal day. When you're around something long enough, you want to emulate it. You want to be like that. It is not a gun's fault. No more than it is a spoon's fault if you're overweight. We're not banning those. We're not banning cars because there's car accidents. We're not banning medicine. We're definitely not banning medicine. That's too much money in that. But they spin this every time it happens. So, we have to ban guns. Biden just said that yesterday. We need an assault weapons ban. No, we need an intervention as a society to fix our problems socially. That is what we need. Don't sit there and tell me that a gun did this. A gun didn't do anything. You cannot take a gun to jail. You can't put the gun in prison. That's not how that works. But 4 people were dead yesterday because society failed. Just like every couple years this shit happens. It's because society is failing people on how to deal with their emotions, on how to deal with life. This one yesterday was a 14-year-old kid that was on the FBI's radar for like a year, that has made threats before, and that apparently they knew about this prior to it happening, and it was nonchalant kind of thing. They don't have to be responsible for letting this kind of stuff happen. I'm talking about the government. They don't have to be 100% involved in orchestrating crazy shit. But a lot of times, it seems like they just let stuff happen. Not just shootings. Just when things happen bad in this country, it always seems like the government is, well, they knew about something, they were aware of it, they kind of looked the other way. Doesn't it seem like a lot of strange things in this country that go bad? Doesn't it seem like the government kind of should know about that kind of stuff? Maybe they should have been on top of it. Maybe they did know about it, but like I said, they looked the other way. Well, I didn't know. Huh, well, that's crazy, man. Our government is one of the biggest liars in the world. And they cover up so much stuff to stay in power. But we're not going to do anything. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to stand up for our kids. We're not going to stand up for society. I suggest, if you can, by any means necessary, start some kind of petition to get these people out of power so we can get our future children, our children that we have now and our grandchildren that we'll have later. We need to get them on a better path. We need to get them socially on a better path. Otherwise, this is going to keep happening. Ban all the guns you want. Somebody that wants to hurt somebody else is going to do it. They can't have guns in England. Look at the mass stabbings over there that happen all the time. They have a huge problem with that. You can't do anything if somebody wants to hurt somebody. You can't do anything to stop that by banning stuff. The only way that we can fix this problem is socially, is getting rid of all the negative crap that we hear all the time. There's no reason for it. There's no excuses. The left organizes really good because they have secret donors and they have multi-millionaire and billionaire funders that are pushing their agendas, and people that want to see society succeed. Everybody thought, me and my friends were crazy talking about like the New World Order back in high school and the Illuminati and all that crazy shit. Everybody thought Alex Jones was crazy too. And like 80% of the stuff that he said has happened. People call Glenn Beck crazy. Stuff that he says happened. This agenda of making our society just totally ignorant. Their plan is working fantastic. When they say that, it's everything's going according to plan. The plan is not for me and you. We need to get that straight. It's not for the normal person. It's not for me. It's not for you, your neighbor, your brother, your cousin, your uncle. It is for them. Their agenda to streamline it into where they want it to be. They have to ban guns. And they will use any horrible story to make you want to give up your rights. They will use anything and everything. Teach your kids about guns. Teach them about safety. Teach them about how dangerous they are. They are extremely dangerous things. But so is putting a fork in an outlet. But your kid knows not to do that. Otherwise, it's going to hurt them. But they see these games, they play these video games where they run around in the metaverse, where they put their virtual reality on, and they spend 8 hours a day shooting people. And there's no consequences in virtual reality. You just respawn. The real world, you have consequences. The real world, people do die. But there's no connect there. There's no, you as a parent, are you watching what your kids are playing? Are you letting them play it? This shouldn't have happened yesterday. It shouldn't have happened a couple years ago. Every day, it shouldn't happen. 4 people died yesterday, but how many people died in Chicago yesterday from gunshot violence? But I don't hear that. I don't hear anything about that. How many people were, abused yesterday? I don't hear anything about that. They're pushing the gun violence thing. They do it every couple of years. Every election, you notice that. Every election, shootings happen. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy? We as a society are too dumb. We forget too easy. We let this stuff happen. We're failing our society by not getting involved with our children and talking about things. And I pray, for the families, for the parents of the shooter, for the people that died, passed away, the assistant coach that died, the teachers, the kids, their friends and family. It is heartbreaking, dude. That is terrifying. But like I said, if you can homeschool your kids, not to mention what they're teaching in the schools anyway, that alone is enough to get your kids out of school. And if you can't afford it, you don't have somebody, you got to work it. I understand that. I understand that 100%. But there are free programs online to where you can homeschool your kids. And you just have to worry about paying somebody to watch your kids. And that's really hard. I understand that. But I'm hoping I can find some programs. And if I do, I'll post them in the comment below. Maybe some kind of assistant programs. Go to your churches, man. Explain your situation. See if they can help out. See if you can find a 501 that would help out with tuition in a safer community, in a safer environment. I think all schools should have metal detectors. I think they should have combat vets that want to protect our children on every door. There's people come back from war that they need something to do. They need to have a purpose. I've read a lot about people coming back from the military and where they try to go back into civilian, lifestyle. It's really hard because you go from combat for years and you do that mindset. You go from that and then you go to washing dishes, or you go from, shooting at people and bombs exploding. You do that, and then you go back to being an accountant. The transition is extremely difficult for a lot of people. They don't seem like it's worth it. They don't seem like there's a purpose. You want to give our combat vets a purpose? Let them protect the schools. Because I guarantee you, 90% of people coming back, they risk their life to protect the country, to protect their friends and family. You don't think they're going to do that for children? I guarantee most of them would gladly do that. We spend billions of dollars in every other country. We throw away money left and right. I'm sure the government could throw a couple $1 billion to pay these men and women. The tax dollars I pay, I would gladly pay that. It's better than it going to Ukraine. It's better going to other countries. Our tax dollars need to be used here in this country to protect our children, to protect our infrastructure. We need to get on our knees and we need to pray that God will help this country, that will help the society. Otherwise, there's not going to be anything left. I hope everybody has a great day. Pray for your families. Pray for our country. You need to start standing up for our kids because they don't have anybody.